All right, you're welcome to class. Welcome to is it day 2 or day 3 now? But just welcome to the class. Yesterday we talked about headers, and in the last class we talked about headers and footers. All of that. We talked about, shapes, putting stuff on Figma. We talked about the different parts of Figma on the right side, the panels on the left side, artboards. We talked about shapes. We talked about the tools, move tools, frames, and all of that. So today we're reviewing different headers. So I gave an assignment. Check your assignment. You're supposed to do a header, and I like this because it's properly centered. This is a frame. So this was a frame used. This was auto layout was used here. This is actually very nice. We also checked this. This was nice, but it has up to 4 colors. Has a border here, a yellow border. One yellow is the first color, red, black, and light blue. Those are 4 different colors. And while this is nice and neat, we should also note that it shouldn't be like that, because part of what makes up a bad website is when the colors are not being done, they're not done right. So let's work on the colors. This is a rectangle. Why do we have a rectangle here? We're supposed to use frames. We're using rectangle. We're not supposed to have rectangles. We are not supposed to have rectangles. We're supposed to have frames. Yes, this is a frame. Okay, so you're supposed to group this. And these are words, not they're not separate. They are just that you type them as just normal words. So work on this. They're supposed to be individual menus. Work on this. Rectangles, no, we're not using rectangles. We're using frames, not rectangles, right? Frames. This is the last design. So first off, let's look at um this. The color is weird. I don't like the color. Then there's no enough spacing, no padding and margin, no padding in the logo, the icons and login and sign up. The text is too large. If I'm going to rate it, I'm going to give this particular person 8/10. Even the color combinations, some of it are weird, but 8/10. I give this a 5/10. I give this I give this a 3/10. So please work on your design so that we can get better results and post it on the community so that we can move ahead. So let's go back to yesterday's class. Okay. All right. So we talked about shapes yesterday, right? We talked about rectangle, line, ellipse, polygon, and star shape, right? The star shape, you can use it for ratings. So in case you are looking for a ratings icon, you can either get it from a plugin or just do your own, right? Create your own rating. So if I want to create a rating, um, if I want to create a rating icon, I can just come here, and because sometimes when you're designing, you want to be able to create your own things on by yourself, not necessarily what the template gives you. So this is an example. So I can have this rating here, and I can make the corners like very soft, and I can duplicate it. So if I duplicate 5 times, I select all, and I change the color to yellow. We're still going to talk about colors, so just pay attention. Now I can change the color to, let me see, to yellow. So I can actually select individual ones and change the color to white. Or I can simply just add a stroke just to show that it's not complete. Now I can actually export this as an image and use it in my own design as individual, or when I'm designing, for instance, I can use it. All right. Okay, so that being said, I like some of the work that you guys did. Even though if I was going to design buttons, you should learn how to spend time on Pinterest. Remember we talked about searching for stuff and practicing and checking out ideas. Sometimes I go on Pinterest and I practice how to create buttons, find buttons, and all of that. And I'm able to make a lot of progress. So sometimes you can have a shape like this. Let's say the color is blue. Let's proceed. Let's say dark blue, for instance. And I add maybe make the corners round there, make it 30 like this. And I make sure that it's this corner smoothing. And I can come and add swipe. Yeah, I can scale it up. But before I do that, okay, let me just put it there. Before I do that, I'm just gonna create a circle, right? And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it here. La la. And I'm gonna change this color to, I'm gonna make it a gradient color. So I'm gonna click this and I'm gonna change this to, let's say white, but I'm gonna make it transparent, like really transparent. And then I'm gonna make this blue. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna come here and add an effect. I'm gonna add yeah, layer blur, and I'm just gonna increase it. Can you see? It's giving your it has given your button a 3D feel. So I'm gonna bring this, take it under. Yeah, make this little bit. So I've given your button a needle feel. So see, your button just went from a basic button to 3D, right? So you can either bring it down or add effects. Sometimes and just reduce the opacity, let's make it 70. You can actually change the color of this anyhow you feel like. So make sure you practice, right? Look for stuff. Sometimes just share stuff on the community that you've tried and is working. So it looks as if there's a color showing up. Okay, so now let's compare this to another button. So let's just duplicate it and then delete all these other things that we have. And let's center this. Let's center this. Mm. So if I ask you now, can you tell the difference between these two buttons? Right? In the comments, I want to see your chart. What's the difference between these two buttons? Right? So spend time creating stuff like this. Colors have a way of changing the feel you have about something, right? If you look at this is just plain. You can even make this look as if there's light coming from here. So I could use my pen tool to just create something that looks as though light is shining from here. It's all about your perspective. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this back and I'm going to change the color to white. I'm going to remove the stroke and I'm going to come here to layer blur. Hold on. Layer blur. Meanwhile, I'm going to change this gradient. Adjust this. Still going to be white. So you can see that it's almost looking as if light is coming from here, right, onto this guy. So someone is shining light from here. Or you can just simply, you can even put it here. just to give it some depth, and then you can probably just add noise to it. Where is it? Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, you can add noise to it. Figma has a lot of features. You can also add glass. Sorry, I'm doing all this thing right now. We're actually going to go into it soon. So, okay, glass is only for frames. You can only use glass on frames. So let's have a frame here. Let's make it glass. So you see, it's giving the glass effect on this. You can use this for design anytime you like. So I can choose remove the, yeah, can see this. So I can probably have this here. Just make my design look funny. Make my design look really, really funny. So you can edit all of this from here. Say the depth, you can add something like scroll down to view or something. Just be creative with your designs and stuff. Just make sure that your designs look really good. Okay, so let's get to it. So we talked about we're editing shapes. I've taught you how to edit shapes. You hold shift to make a complete square, a perfect square rather. So if you click on R will give you a rectangle. But if you want to make this a square, you click on R and you get a perfect square. Same with O. O, you can do whatever. To draw ellipse, you can put any size of ellipse you want, depending on what you want to do. But if you want a perfect circle, you just have to hold down Shift and you have a perfect circle, right? So when I design graphics design for instance, when I do graphic design for instance, part of what I do is I use a lot of ellipse just to create and perfect squares and circles just to create that feeling of light, all of that. So I can have this here and do this like this, probably like this. Just want to show you a sketch. So Figma, you can use Figma for web design. Sometimes when I want to create a flyer that I want to use on my website, like I'm currently working on a gym website or a fitness website for a gym instructor. And part of what I'm going to be doing is to be adding flyers. So let's switch this to layer blur and put it at 300. Okay, so let's put that 1000. Yeah, so you see, so I can actually reduce the color here. Right. So if I add can lock this here. This is to lock. If you lock it, it means that it won't move. But you have to unlock it before you download. So if I come here and take this up here, I can then say something like, let me add a text that says, learn web design like this. And I can increase it by scaling. Scaling is K, don't forget. And I can say this. Okay, hold on. Now, yesterday we are talking about this part of Figma. If you want to reduce the line height, that's the height between words, you do that from here, and you can reduce it. If you want to increase the word count, the word spacing, it's the same thing here, but I like to leave mine at 0 or even minus something, say -2, right? This is for font size. You can increase your font size from here. You can change your font type from here. And of course, you can change your font from here. So if I say learn web design, I'm just giving you a sample. You can literally create a folder from here. You can literally create a flyer from here. And I click on learn web design. Let me add a picture. Let me add a picture. So I'm just going to take a picture from my pictures. Let me see if I have one that I removed the background. I have none. I have none that I have removed the background though. Let me see. Flyers, there should be one. I should have removed background of an image. Yeah, so I can pick this and just drag it into here, or I can copy and paste. The network is terrible. Network is actually terrible. So I hope you guys can still hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm trying to add an image. Let me see. The network is bad, so it's a little bit slow. Yeah, network is actually bad this night, but nonetheless, we're going to record. Okay. Don't know why these images are so small. 9 by 9. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna add this here. Let's say I have this. I'm gonna add this inside this frame. Add this guy here. Right? So you see that you can literally do anything with Figma, right? So this is just to show you how shapes work, how you can turn them into different things that you want. So we've created a button, a 3D button, and all of that. The ellipse tool can be used to create circles, anything circle, blobs. You can actually shape it. You can even change it into a pie. If you hold here, you can arc, right? And if you hold the center and you can do this, right? So maybe you want to add it to your website and you don't want it to show. So all those small, small things that used to be in website that makes it come alive, right? The line tool, of course, can be used as a line separator. Let me say after a section, you can just add a line on the side, all of that. You can add a line. Um, Then there's this thing we do, even though it's one of the most difficult things to do in WordPress, but it's doable. So let's say a rectangle to create irregular shapes. You can create a rectangle. Give me a minute. You can create a rectangle, and in this rectangle, you can create another rectangle on top it, right? Let's say this. And all you're gonna do is I think you're gonna subtract. Yeah, and then you can select the main design and make it all circle. Yeah, now you have like really nice shapes. Now, but the interesting thing is that you can actually check this to select this second one and resize. So you can create irregular shapes for your whatever it is that you want to do. Now, this is quite difficult to do on WordPress, but it's still doable. I've been able to do it with many websites that I have. So I create something like this, right? I would have shown you guys, but I signed an NDA, so I can't really show the website. So I can create something like this and then add another rectangle here, maybe like a button. Add another rectangle here that just lets me know. Then I can carve, hold on, and I can, give it corner radius just to match. So it looks as if it's the same rectangle that I just cut out. Then I can put sign up here. Probably just change the color to orange. Yeah, and maybe this will probably be black or red or yellow or whatever it is that I want it to be, right? So I can create irregular shapes in Figma, right? And use at different parts of your websites, right? So shapes are a foundation of every design. Lines help define structure and flow. The pen tool gives you creative freedom to create unique shapes. Remember, we talked about the pen tool. You can literally, so if I want to create my signature, for instance, I'm actually going to use the pencil to Shift P. So I can just put up my signature here. And okay, so let me show you guys. My mouse is messing up. Now, this is close. This is close to my signature, but it's not. Hold on. So I'm just going to take it slow. Yeah, this is close. This is the closest. So now I can just change the color of this, assuming I wanted to put it somewhere in my website, right? So let's say I had a section like this. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say I had a section here, maybe a hero section that talked about meet our CEO. Maybe I had an image. I'm gonna add another, let me see, add the rectangle. Sorry. I'm gonna add a rectangle here, right? And that's the frame I just created. Okay, you see, the frame went into another frame that is not the main frame. So our, let's say I create an image here, and inside this image, I want this to have my face. So I can just come here. And add this here. So now, but I want to write an about me. And I say about me. Right? So I put this about me here. Let me get about me. Let me get about me. Aha, so if I just copy, I'm not even sure this is going to copy. Okay, it did copy. No, I don't think so. No, it doesn't. Okay, it copied. So I'm just going to reduce the size and remove this space here. Now I have this here. So I can have this here, increase the size, 24, have this here like this. And now I want to add my signature, right? I can just come here and if I can export this as an image, but I can easily add it here. So I can come here and increase the size to 1 and to become, I can even increase it to 5 if I want and it become bold, but I can do whatever it is I want with it. It's easy, right? And I can just add my signature. Or I'll use a font, a cursive font, right? Maybe write my name and use a cursive font, but I've created the hero section. I hope you understand this, right? So simple shapes can create professional layouts that's styled well. We talked about text yesterday. So let's take a look at text. Like I already explained, this is your font. You can change your font by selecting various fonts that are here. You can change your font type, right? So it can be bold, it can be extra bold, depending on where you're getting on the font you have on your laptop. And you can also download fonts from here. One of the places to help you download fonts, fonts.google.com. It's an interesting place to get fonts from. So let's see if you can get a font from Google. So I'm just going to look for Bricolage. I'm coming. Yeah, Bricolage Protects. So this is what it looks like. So if I say, here comes SM, I'm able to get the different So I can easily download this. Once I click on get fonts, I can download all the fonts pack. And once I download the fonts to my laptop, it saves. So let me save it to WordPress. And I can let me open it where it is. If I unzip it now, so I'm just gonna unzip it, right? And once I unzip it, where is it? Bricolage. I can look for this particular one and then I install it. So as soon as I install it, there I close. What's here? So these are the other ones. I can just select and open all of them at once, and it should all install. Coming. So this is different things. They are all installing. Hold on. I have to do them manually. So I can choose to do them manually. So now if you come to Figma, right? And let's select this about me and I look for bricolage. Can you see it now? It will only give me the ones that I've installed. Can you see? Can you see it now? So I can say medium. I can also choose extra bold. So if you see a font that you like and you want to download it, go to fonts.google. Another site to download fonts is DaFonts. DaFonts is a very good place to get like really, really nice fonts. Um, yeah, DaFonts.com. Very nice place to get fonts. I always get my fonts from here. Can see very, very nice fonts from here, and most of them are free. Right. So yeah, so that's that about fonts. Let's go back to Figma. So this is for line height. See the way these things are, they look as if they are close together. So if I start to increase them, they'll start coming down. If I reduce them down to 0, see that they'll be on the same line. Now, if I want to make them like the way it was normal, I'll just type auto and it will come back to normal. This, you can reduce this for the text to be close to each other. You can also, this is for line space. Is it line space they call it? Yes, word spacing. So letter space, anyone. So I like to leave mine at 0 or -2. This is for text. If you want to align text left, you want to align it center, you want to align it right. This is to align your text top, align it middle, align it center. So you can be adding stuff like that. So, but I like to leave mine as center. Now for text, hold on. For text, you can actually add, you can justify, right? So it's equal, but let's leave it at left. You can underline, you can strike through. There are other, you can make the text thicker, but let's cancel this decoration. So you can make everything caps like this just to help you design faster, yeah? So we're going to remove so that it's the way we type it, we see it. You can trim vertically and you can trim horizontally. You can make it standard. You can make it bullet points or not, 1, 2, 3, like that. So yeah, so that's basically it. We will not be creating variables. That's that on text. Now let's come to colors. Now with text, you need to note something. There's a difference between heading and normal text, body text. We have heading, we have body text. Whenever we are designing. So this is a heading. It's usually like really large. It highlights different sections, and the body is just maybe probably it can be an explanation of what that entire section is. So you cannot use this here. So if we change this, what's the font here? 69. If we change this to 70, just imagine how your web page will look like. It will not even have space. There will be no space to put everything. To look really, really weird, which is because it's a body text, and most body texts are between 16 and 24. So hold on. 16 and 24 here. So you have your body text here, and I can always put this here. So always note that. Or you now Figma has like other, you can use their own text styles. They have subtitles, title page, header, all of that, but you can always create your own. But make sure that when you're creating a website, your headers are the same, your subtitles the same, your button text the same. Don't put navigation menu text different from button text, different from body text. You should have a uniform text that you're using across different parts of your website. It should be uniform. Don't just do things scattered. Those are things you need to check out before you start designing. And next we have is color. So fill. Here we can change the color of text. Come to the fill and change the color to red. You can change the color to whatever you want. Now, when it comes to color, there are different parts of color, but I'm going to be using a shape to explain. So let's just leave this at black. So let's say we have this rectangle, right? This is a normal color. This is standard. We can change this to 1. Say 1 standard fill, right? You can change, you could just change to different colors. You can't really make one side white, one side black. If you want to do that, you have to switch to gradients, right? So these are solid colors and these are gradients. Now with gradients, you can navigate with these pointers to give the direction of whatever it is that you want to do, right? So whenever you have a color in Elementor, you can do this, right? You can do this. There are different gradients. So this particular gradient is the linear gradient. You can have the radial gradient where the colors are like this. Probably starts from the center. You bring it down, it will form a radial section. Then we have the angular, which is mostly at angles. The colors start getting dark for one angle and gets brighter as it comes to the other end. So you can actually create like really nice designs. I've seen guys create stuff like this, create clock with this kind of designs and then export it to WordPress, right? So that's for Angular. And then finally, we have, hold on. And you can add more than one point, right? You can add more than 1 point. Maybe in this circle one, we can have something like this. So you can actually add more than 1 point. You can add different points, but yeah, let's see. Okay, so the last one we have is we have diamond. This just shows, something like depth. Like maybe it's good for if you are designing something that, looks as if it's coming from under. Maybe you want to do perspective design. This is actually nice. Looks like somebody's walking into a corridor. But that's that about gradients. We also have, hold on. We also have image. We also have image. Here you can upload whatever image you want from your calendar. Now, you notice that in this image, it's supposed to be full, but I'm not showing because it's a rectangle. There are two ways you can fix that. If it's a rectangle, you can easily just pull it up, right? But if it's a frame, what you want to do is you want to crop, right? So you just use your arrow key to bring this down, right? Or maybe I just want my head. I can hold shift down and increase the image and then resize it. Hold on. And I then resize it. So I have a passport, a very mean passport. So now I have this and I have my image. You can, if you want the image style, you can crop, you can make it as a tile. It will be more than one. You can fit it into the image. So you see that this is a square, but let's add the color. You can also add a color together with an image. All you need to do is to add the color behind. So let's say if I add this color, right? You can add a color. And sometimes these colors are used to they are used to create some form of what do they call it now? Let's say like a turn on an image. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say I have this frame here. I'm just going to go to fill. Instead of adding color, I'm going to come to image and I'm going to add an image. Very bright. Let me see if I have a very bright image. So yeah, I can then have a color above. Now that color makes it look really like it's dark or something. I can add this like this. Maybe I want to add a text on top that says made for more, right? I can add the text here and probably change this font here. And so that you can see my image, but the focus is the text. And I can change the line height by actually reducing the line height to about 100. Okay, that's too much. To about 150. Yeah, so I can add this. I can then make this particular text a gradient. It's my choice, right? So I can also pick this color tool here, this picker, and then go to different parts. Sorry. So when I click on this picker, I can come to this part of my design and click, all right? And it gives me that same color. But let's get the original color. Let me just remove this here. So if I come here and pick my picker again, hold on. This will be much more brighter. And let's also pick blue. Yeah, so I can actually activate this back. So you can turn off and on your color. So I'll turn it on and make it darker. There you go. So I can increase this, maybe probably change it to something nice, like orange, light orange, change it to blue, or maybe light blue, depending on what I like, right? So it looks as if light is coming from here, and I put this on my website, it says made for more, and I can always style, do whatever I want. So Figma gives you an opportunity to ideate something that you want, and I can also add an effect. I can add noise as an effect. Where is it? I can add noise to this. Then I can make this a glass on top here. Done. This is a rectangle. So I can make this glassy. Can put it here. I can make the sides like a circle, right? And I can have this here. Yeah, something nice. Sorry. I'm just showing you things you can actually do. I can actually put this here, make this into a nice circle, add some, make it look like actual glass. No, not frost it up. Dispersion. Yeah. So, and of course, I can change the color to whatever it is that I like. So let's say I want it to be reddish or maybe brownish in color. And then I can come and add another number, maybe number one. Yeah, number one. Add detail, maybe like a card or something that I want to use. Change a different color. Change a different color, maybe like yellow or whatever thing that I like, right? normal. I can change it to whatever it is that I like. So I can move this around, you can be a button itself. So you can make a button. Let me show you. You can make a button here. And this number, instead of saying this number, you can say something like, hold on, share now. You can add background blur to this and just increase the background so that the background will be blur 100. Let's edit our glass. Okay, for our glass, you can make it frost. So you can actually export this thing like this to to WordPress. You can, yeah. Font size 40. Can you see? So there's so much you can actually do, right? With Figma, you can ideate, you can use this. If you go to, okay, I'll treat that later in class. But I hope you've understood what color and all of that is all about. Okay, so we've talked about text, we've talked about different types of text, we've talked about the titles and all of that. We've also treated colors, the gradients, you can reuse colors, all of that. You can create different color palettes that you want to use for your designs, right? And you can build your own color. So whenever you want to start designing, one of the first things you want to ask whoever you're designing for your client is, can I have your brand identity document, which contains your colors? So I know what colors I'm using for the brand. So I'll not use like 15 colors for whatever it is that I'm doing. Yesterday we talked about align right, align left here, all of this, up, down, all of that, spacing, angle. We talked about all of that yesterday. So you can actually change the angle of this, let's say by 90 degrees, the picture turns upside down. But you can change the angles of whatever. You can increase your width and size, all of that. This is going to be important if you're designing from Figma. But not everybody likes to design from Figma. We've talked about your grid. You can always turn off this your grid so that you can actually see what your website looks like. Alignment brings structure and balance to your design. So it's always important to use your grids for whatever it is you're doing. And when you're designing in Figma, you can actually get plugins from plugin section I showed you yesterday. Part of the plugins that I use Unsplash to get images. So sometimes I don't have images I can use. So I just want to get images. Maybe I'm designing this particular section, hero section, and I need an image. So I can just say, okay, give me an image of a portrait of an African man portrait. And sorry, it's supposed to be African. And then it gives me different portraits depending on what I want. So let's say I choose this guy. It changes. Yeah, I got it. So you can now crop it out if you want. You can crop by just moving this guy up. There you go. Now you have images. You can always get images from here. Sometimes it's backgrounds. You can check for backgrounds and you can use them for whatever it is you want to use them for. You guys should give me a minute. I need to plug my device. I wanted this class to be 1 hour today, but that was not possible. So you're gonna have to keep watching. All right, so you understand what I'm doing with images, right? You understand what I'm doing with images. You can change your image to background, whatever it is, you can change your background image to whatever it is you want to use for your design. So you can have sometimes you have pages that are very simple, right? So I'm gonna click MacBook Pro 14. Yeah. So you have like really, really nice landing pages. And I'm just going to select the whole of this frame and add this particular homepage, and it's going to download. All right, now I have this. So I've added this image. I can just come here. Where are all my, let me just pick from my header here. Just gonna group it, change the color to white. Add the header inside here. This should probably be transparent. So I'm just gonna blur it out. I'm gonna add, no, not layout. I'm gonna add effects. I'm just gonna background blur, put it at 100. Yeah, so you see that it's blurred. And yeah, so I can simply just add my own this thing here. Where's that button that we created? I'm going to bring this button here. You can hold Alt and duplicate. Hold Alt down and drag, or just Control D. Control D in Figma is duplicate. You can take our time to watch stuff, right? So, and then I can add a logo. There's that logo. Let me say this made for more is my logo. Alt and drag. And I'm just going to straighten it, the layout here. Okay. Made for more is my logo. The gradient. Let me change the gradient to something nice. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna drag this here. Oh, I'm already getting ideas, but okay. This will be my logo. Yeah. Made for more. What color should I make this? So you can have simple landing pages like this. I don't know if you've ever seen simple landing pages like this, which are like just straight to the point. They are not very stressful stuff. Let me see. Instead of white, what should we have here? Should we have like a teal? No, has to be a bright color. Uh, let's just leave it as white. So you can have this here. Say my logo size will be this. This button is too big for me. And where this button is too dark. So let me change the color of this button. Let me see. Can actually change this to a better color. Okay, so I think it's bright enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna align this and tidy up. And I can actually group all of them. Use this text like this. Okay, so that's line height. I'm gonna change it to auto. Okay, so I'm just gonna group this into one and center it, right? So I can then have maybe watch exciting space launches on mid on our streaming platform, right? So this is too small. So I can put it like this, center it, and increase the font size. So I'm just showing you how you can easily just create stuff, right, on Figma. Just as a guide. Most times we use Figma as a guide, not necessarily the main design, right? So I can change. I don't like this font. It looks weird. Yeah, this font is nice. It's like some space stuff. Let's reduce the font size. Okay, so I hope we're all getting something, so that it's easy for you to create stuff. Let's increase the line height. So I can have this here. Okay, I don't like this font again. Let's see something something nice or something simple. Let's just go with bricolage, Rotex, let's see, extra bold, auto. Okay. Yeah, so I think I like this. So I can add this in the center here or wherever I want it. Then probably just add another button. Maybe a lot longer button that says create an account. So it's not showing because it's a frame and I've already written out of the frame. All right, so I say create an account. So it's very, very easy. You can actually do this on Figma and I'll show you how to as we proceed in the class, right? You can even add, remember we talked about into group it and align. So we talked about adding like very really nice stuff. So if I add an ellipse here and send it to back, send it to the back, let's say somewhere around here, and I add make it a color blue, right? And I add an effect. I can actually download this and layer blur, layer 2000. Soon show 1000, 1000. 800, 67. Yeah, so I can actually have this particular color here to one side or to any side of the distance that I have, but you get. So, and that notwithstanding, I could actually add my Facebook, all those get started with us. I can add everything here because this is a one-pager landing page, right? That you can actually build easily in WordPress. So we'll be building stuff like this. This is a hero page. Then if I want to add more stuff, then you can see all those cards. So I can come here. Where's that card I created? Yeah, I can come here and add one card for myself. So let's say movies. This is a movie. Like it's like a streaming website. This is a movie. So remember, you know how Netflix is. We're going to be designing stuff like that. Just pages, right? So I can have the movies here, and you just keep scrolling down, all of that. Hold on. You can keep scrolling down as you want, anyhow you want it. It's still your choice. Let's pick this image, let's crop it. Yeah, it's better. Okay, so definitely your choice. So that's how to work with images. You can add plugins. Plugins are like mini tools. Plugins are like they're like mini tools. Guys, hold on. Give me 1 minute, please. One minute, guys. I'm having a short rumble here with my Wi-Fi. I do hope you're enjoying the class and you're learning a lot. Okay, so like I was saying, plugins are like mini tools that extend Figma's power. They help you work faster, stay consistent, and bring real-world visuals into your designs, right? So instead of manually searching for icons, resizing images, plugins, you can automate the process with plugins. There are many plugins. And if you want to access the plugin, just click here on Figma. You see plugins and widget, and you can literally add anything you want in Figma. For images, you can use Unsplash. To remove background, you can use Remove BG. For icons, you can use Iconify. There are others for mockups, but we barely use mockups here. So you can import, I showed you how to import stuff to Figma yesterday. You can import image just by going here and clicking on file and place image, right? That's it. You can import image to Figma, right? So in terms of responsiveness, we're going to be talking about responsiveness, like I told you guys in the first class, is when you design your website to fit into different screens. So from desktop to tablet to mobile phone. Look at, if you see this my website now, when you come to home, for instance, and you click on home, let's resize this. If we're resizing, you see that it's changing. This is on the, okay, let's use the home page. This is on the left, this is on the right, but when you switch to tab mode, this comes up, this goes down. It's the ability of a website to actually fit into different responsiveness. Responsive design ensures the website automatically adjusts its layout and elements to fit different screen sizes because users access websites on phones, tablets, and desktops. And a responsive site improves the experience, the accessibility, and also SEO ranking. So if you look at this website, for instance, if you switch to, this is how it looks like on desktop, easy to read from left to right. When you switch to tab, you can also do the same from left to right and up, down. When you switch to mobile, it gives you another experience. So you see this first and this. So for your website, because if you don't switch it to, if you don't make your design responsive, your designs can be, you might be seeing half of your design. So if you don't make your designs responsive, what you'll be seeing, hold on, what you'll be seeing here is just half of the screen. So you'll be seeing half. One like this, I help increase sales and grow exponentially. And you won't be seeing the other half. You see this picture, you won't see the other half because it's not responsive, right? So there are different devices on Figma you can check out when you're designing for mobile and all of that. So I've shown you guys how to design a hero section. So I got a hero as I'm going to do something. I'm gonna send you guys a screenshot. I think I got a, what do you call it? Some templates about 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember now, right? I can't remember now. Let me check my products that I bought, customers profile. Let me switch to customers prefer. I got it. I bought so much stuff on this seller that I don't even know how to find stuff again. Let me see. I think I got it a couple of years. Is this it? No, this is not it. Yeah. So I'm gonna share because this is mine now because I already got it. I got it for 3K or so. I'm gonna open it. I don't know if the file is still available because it's been almost, when did I get it? It's been almost 3 years or 4 years ago. So you can see different design systems from spacing down to colors, down to text, icons, and all of that. This person has his before he designs. When we talk tomorrow, we're going to talk about these are hero sections. Now, part of our assignment is that we are going to build out all these hero sections, right? So you can copy whatever. There are about 30 hero sections. I'm going to copy it into a general file that everybody can access and share with us. These are different hero sections. Hero sections are usually what people see first and make a decision as to whether, they're going to join. So I bought this and this is mine now. I can share it as much as I want. So you can get ideas, you can copy ideas from here. There are about 30 of them, right? So I bought this when I was also learning product design. Amazing stuff that you can actually use. Okay, so I'll teach you guys you guys will create different headers. That will be our assignment. I'll share this. Class captain, our next assignment is I'll share this file. Let me just hold on. Let me create a new, I'm going to create this. So, assignment. I'm going to create this and paste it here. So everybody's supposed to pick one and redesign, right? Just look at it, redesign, and whatever you redesign is what you're going to do in Figma, in WordPress. You're going to create this in WordPress. So just take note of that. All right. So that being said, I want to talk to you guys about website design structure. See, sometimes when people want to design websites, they are very, very confused as to where to start. So let's go to Dribbble and get some ideas. Let's go to dribbble.com and get some ideas. So when people want to design a website, they are very confused. Sometimes you hop on some people's websites, there's no hero page, right? It's just headers and abouts, and people cannot give you different things to show on their websites, right? So your website has different parts, and the standard flow is you have a header, you have a hero section, you have features and benefits, you can have the about section, maybe the who we are, you can have the service and offerings, you have testimonials, you have the contact or call to action, and finally the footer. So let's see websites. Just a random website, let us see. Okay, so I think I like this particular fitness website, it's beautiful. So let's look at this. So in this particular website, now let's see if we follow all the rules. Hold on, this one is just a screenshot. You need to be able to get one that has all the, aha, I like this one. It's a video, but I like it. You can see, I'm just going to pause it. You can see that the first thing they had on this place was their header, right? A better way to offer and pay access for it to your team. And the next thing they have is the process, the problem they are solving. And next is their services, the solution, what you stand to gain, the services, the things they offer for you to book a demo, then what you are going to enjoy, and why their customers trust them. You need to get access to them, contact them, and schedule a call, and finally the footer. That is it. So note this, your website has different structures, but the basic structure of a website, you have a header, you have the hero section, you have the features, you have the about section, you have services, you have testimonials, you have contacts, and you have footer. Now let me explain each and every one of these sections for you. Now, the header section appears on every homepage. Every page that you have has a header section. I'm going to be using my own website as a sample. I'm going to be using my own website as a sample. I hope you guys can all see my screen. I'm going to be using my own website as a sample. So I'm just going to open it up here. I'm going to open it up here. That was my website I opened. I opened realsmo.com instead of the realsmo.com. So this is my website now. This part where my logo, my navigation bar, and my button is called my header. Every single web page must have a header. It's supposed to be what the users are going to use to navigate your website, to know who you are. Your logo, of course, is your representation, like what you stand, what people can easily identify you with. Every brand has its own logo. So your logo is always on the left. You can put it in the center, or I've never seen somebody put it on the right before, but it's left or center. Your navigation menu can be here at the left or the right, depending on your choice. But most times, this is how it usually comes out, and there's a button, right? So you're trying to tell people whether it's to book a call, schedule a consultation or a meeting, or talk to me directly, all of that, right? So this is your header. This first section that contains it appears on every page. It includes your logo, your navigation menu, and sometimes a call to action button, right? And it's simple and visible. It's the user's anchor for navigation. So usually has the home, the about, all of that up there. Whatever thing you want people to see to navigate, you can have there. And you can always have different navigation menus for each page, but everything should be in your header. The next page, the next section is the hero section. If you look at this, this is my hero section, right? Now, your hero section is the first section your users see. It sets the tone, right? It has a strong headline. That's what the brand does. So this is where you tell people what you do, because here is where they make a decision whether to continue viewing your website or just close the entire web page. It's like your first ad. When somebody lands on your website, why should they continue scrolling? That's what your hero section is supposed to be. Sometimes I see slideshows on people's hero section, and I'm like, there's nothing here telling me about your brand. And most times people don't have the patience, they just leave, or they just decide that, oh, maybe I opened the wrong website because there are no details there. But when you land on somebody's website and it tells you what they do instantly, you know exactly that I should continue and I want to know more. So you have the header, which is usually big, and then you have the subheader, the subheadline, how I'm actually going to help you. I tell you what I do, then how I'm actually going to help you. You can add a video or an image on the right side or the left side, depending on your choice. I've built websites before that I've shared, and you can see different um, types of headers. You can see some that it's the headline is on the top and the subheadline is on the bottom right. One is on the top left, bottom right. The image is in the center. It's your choice. But your header, your hero section is supposed to tell us what to do and what you do, and also what to do, because it comes with a button. So should we sign up? Should we create an account, or we should keep scrolling, or should fill a form? For example, if you go to this website that I just completed this website yesterday. It's a landing page. I just completed it yesterday. Now, this website is supposed to they want to collect emails for waitlist for when their app launches, right? Now, if I click on join waitlist, it takes me to their form to fill their form, right? So different call to actions. But when you come in here, there's no navigation because it's a one-pager and they just want you to fill their form, know exactly what they are doing, scroll down, all of that, and you get the details of exactly what they are doing, right? So different website. I have another website that I have built. This particular website, the call to action here is to fill a mail. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's talk to somebody. When you click on it, it takes you to their services, yes, to book their services, the application form, and all of that. So here you are able to see what they do, how they go about it. and how they give loans to businesses. You can see all of that, right? So different hero sections. This particular hero section has tabs that you can see the different things that they do, right? It's left to you with images, right? This particular one is about a person. This is a personal brand. This particular one is about business. Everything is centered in their hero page. They are showing you a dashboard of what their application looks like. So it's definitely your choice. Whatever it is that you want to do, you do with whatever you've built. Let me see. There's a website, Zikila. Come. I think I built this earlier this year. I want to be sure. Yes, I built this earlier this year, and these are two websites in one, right? So two websites connected to one. If you go to Killer Clean, this is what it looks like. You can book a session directly. This is what their homepage looks like. If you go to Killer Works, this is what their homepage looks like. Definitely your choice. Whatever it is you want to do with it is completely your choice. You can design your hero section to look however you want to, you want it to look like. Next is features and benefits, right? My own features and benefits is here and also has a call to action. It explains what makes your brand special, right? But you can also come here, you can also see some other features and benefits, but mine is very short and usually presented in cards or columns with icons, as you can see here, right? Fast loading, mobile friendly, and secure payments. Things like that. You can just tell us what your brand is about. For a brand like this, their features came directly here. It's just this, right? For this particular one, features came after the about us, right? For this particular one, features came instantly, what they offer you straight up, right? So it's up to you to decide. Then after features and benefits, you now have your about section, right? So these people have they just put their features and what they do, who we are. Here the about section came after the features, who we are, trusted, our vision, our mission, all of that. This particular one came here. Right. So definitely your choice on how you want to go about it. Then services and offering comes after. The services and offering section, sorry, the about section tells your brand story, your mission, and your vision. It builds trust and emotional connection. So whatever write-up you're putting there is supposed to help people trust you. It can include team photos, timeline, and founders code. There are websites I would love to share that I worked on, but I can't share them here. Right. So maybe in our private classes or in the community, I'll just share screenshots of what they look like, right? Um, um, it can include your team photos, timelines, or founders quotes, whatever. And it can also be very detailed, but not too much text. You want to avoid too much text so that your website does not look like a notebook. Very important. Then in the services and services section and offerings, you can showcase the solution your product solves. You can use icons, short titles, and brief descriptions. Each service can link to a dedicated detailed page. So if, let's say, for example, now, when you click on marketing systems, this can actually lead to marketing system, but I'm not done with this. This can actually lead to marketing system. When you click on Try Academy, you can actually get to our courses page, depending on what we have for you, right? Okay, so next is your testimonials. People want to see the testimonials that adds credibility. So I haven't even put a lot of testimonials on my page, but people always want to see testimonials on your page. Do I have testimonials here? Not yet. I've not uploaded my testimonials on this page, but I will put testimonials here. So it's very important that you put your testimonials on your page so people can trust you. And finally, you can have a call to action section somewhere here that says subscribe to my free sales letters, something that just tells them to keep in touch, right? And you can also have your blog after. I deleted all my blogs, but you can have all your blogs here. And finally, your footer. Your footer is the end of your website, the last part of your website that usually carries either your description, your logo, quick link. So not every link is going to be here. For example, there's no point putting terms and condition here when you have so much on your website. So you can just add it here You can add it here. Other pages can include privacy policy, your terms and conditions, your FAQ. All people's information are safe on your website. Those are the reasons why you have terms and conditions and policy. When people pay you, hope their cards are not going to start collecting automatic debits, things like that. And you can put your contact info here, all on your homepage. So note the structure, like I said it. Header, hero, features, about, services, testimonial, contact or call to action, and your footer. This part of your website is very, very, very important. And then of course, you can always add call to action buttons at different parts of your website. Get started now, join now, learn more. You need to know different types of call to actions so that you know so that users are directed to the right place. So if you want people to fill a form, you can actually say fill a form or get started, right? Or complete form or submit form. But if it's a academy, you can say take courses or enroll in our courses. If it's a video, you can say watch video. If it's a community or something they will have to join, you say join now. Make sure you are using the right call to action for the right part of your website. Now, you can also add yours. For example, on my blogs, instead of making it boring and saying blog section or news and events, I just say I've got hot gist. Read full gist here. When you go to full gist, you see my blogs. I don't have any blog there right now, but you see all the blogs that I have on my website, and then you can read at will. You can read whatever it is you want to read at your own time, right? So very, very, very important. A Figma prototype becomes the developer's roadmap, right? So if you finish designing on Figma, following all these sections, it's easy for you to finish your website in 1 week. But if you don't have this structure, you will not even know what parts to take next so when you finish your hero, you are saying, oh, what should I put here? No. Me, when I'm designing a website, I already know what I want to put in a website before. So I can write, it's like a user flow. And your user flow is the journey between your users, between the journey your user takes on your website. So for example, the user flow to register for this course is simple. When you come on the course, when you click add to cart, you are supposed to register an account first. The moment you register an account with username and password, you can then purchase the course. You can then purchase the course. If you do not register that, sorry, excuse me. If you do not register an account, you cannot purchase a course on my website. That's how I did it because I want users to be able to have an account. So even if you have an account, whether or not you bought the course, I can always send you an email and do some cross-selling and marketing all together to make you buy the course, right? So pay attention to these things. Let's use the next 30 minutes to go into WordPress. I know some of you have been waiting, so let's just do that, right? So can we still remember our password from the last I'm coming. Remember we're using liz.dravos.co, right? I can't even remember. I just put still logged in. Please still be logged in. Yes, it's still logged in. I'm still logged in. Yes. Thank you. So we're here in WordPress. I want to take our time to explain everything in WordPress from everything you can see here. Number one, this is your WordPress dashboard. Your WordPress dashboard is your control center for WordPress. Anytime you have issues or you want to update or you want to create anything, this is where you come to your WordPress dashboard, right? Where you manage everything on your site. You can access it by logging www.yourdomain, that's your domain /WP admin, WP-admin or -admin. So domain nnamdi.com/WP-admin, and you are logged in. The left side contains all the main sections of your website. So from posts to media, to pages, to comments, to appearance, plugin, users, tools, and settings, right? That is what is contained in the left panel. Sometimes when you install a plugin or a theme, other things can appear on the left side and we'll be seeing that. We will also be managing that. For example, you notice that Elementor is already here because I installed Elementor, right? So let's explain each and every part. Now, let's start with post. With post, post is used for blog content on news updates, right? It includes categories, tags, featured images, all of that, right? So let's create a post. So let's add a post here. we're gonna call this post our first ever bootcamp blog. Our first. So the title is, no, let's make it something. SMO launches business academy, right? Let me use AI to write a blog post because I don't have the strength. Okay, so now you see, this is a header. Now, on this blog, this is your title. You can add different parts. You can add a paragraph, you can add an image, you can add a heading, you can see everything you can add right here. You can add page breaks, separator, spacing, all of that. You can even embed calendars, custom HTML. Maybe you design something, you can embed an image. You can add so many things here, right? You can add the author's name, navigation, all of that, social media, Spotify. Let's add this. You can add a Spotify link that people can link, and watch and, use. So let's delete this. So let me check my Claude. Write me a blog that I just created a business clinic. Okay, so supposed to write me very exciting news. I'm opening my own clinic. So let's get this header, right? So we can say, let's add this header here. Let's edit this header and add it here, right? That's my title. So now we can add a heading that says SMO launches clinic for business owners. For business owners. Now let's look at, Now the funny thing is that sometimes when you copy and paste, it automatically adds. So let's do that. See, it automatically adds the heading. You can see heading 2 and all of that. Now, but we want to be able to add image. So let's add an image. Yeah. So let me add it here, somewhere here. I'm going to add my image here. Yeah. So media library. Yeah. So this is Elizabeth. I think she uploaded an image. So we're going to add, Elizabeth, we're adding your image. We're going to add this here. And that's it. What else should we add? Now, if you come here, you can add different parts, different title attributes, describe the role of this image, all of that, but we're not going to add that. Now let's add featured image. We can actually upload this. So featured image is what people see when you upload the blog. What's the first thing they see? So let's add pictures. Let me add this one. Let's add this picture. Which was actually taking time to load. We can use this one. Okay, so we can add this as featured image. Category, we can create new categories and we can add new category here, says business tips. Now you can go and create different categories, but yeah, so we're going to just do that. And after we do that, we can click on publish. And once we click on publish, once the blog club publishes, we can see it. So we can just copy this and go to a different browser and let's check it out. Okay, the team is interrupting. So the team is interrupting what we are doing. So let's go and check. Let's go and check. Let's go and deactivate this team first. I'll still talk about teams, but just hold on. Let's set it to Elementor Hello Teams. Let's see if our blog will show. Yeah, so you see our blog. Now, while we're designing Elementor, I'll show you guys how to do better blogs. This is just the basic and static, right? So you can see anybody who comes here can actually drop a comment, all of that, save the name, blah, blah, blah. You can see everything that I've added. If we add a Spotify, so we're still in post, all posts. You can see all posts here. You can click on edit. Let's edit this. So let's scroll down and add. I just saw cover now. This will be our cover image. If we click on save, it updates, and let's refresh. And we can see cover image will appear here, right? I think the image is taking time to load, but it will appear here. Okay, so we can also add a YouTube video here for people to watch. So let's get a YouTube video. Let's get a YouTube video. So if you want to stop seeing ads, this is outside the class tips. If you want to stop seeing ads on your YouTube, use Brave browser. I use Brave browser. I don't use Chrome. I use Brave browser for whatever it is I'm doing. It never plays ads. So let's embed this video. Let's get this video. This is Neil Patel, yeah? Looks like Neil Patel. Yes.
Social media
Let's copy the video URL.
thinking fast. And what worked
Relax.
just a few years ago.
Relax. So we can come here and add this and embed. And click on save. So when you save that and you refresh here and you scroll down, you can see. So you can actually promote your blogs, whatever it is you want to do. You can when people can hire you to build very nice blogs. We see how we're building blogs with Elementor, nice, neat blogs. You can build your own blogs with Elementor, but this is just like basic what it is, right? No themes added yet, or just basic themes added yet. So I hope we're getting that about posts. So that's how to post is just about, it's just to create blogs and news updates. So you can create yours. Then you can add categories. Remember, we added a category. So we're just going to add a category called business tips and parent category none. So now, if we want to make this business tips, we can say, okay, startups. What am I spelling? Startups. Now, the parent category, we can make it business tips. So anytime you select business tips or startups, you can see that it's part of business tips, right? So you see, it always has a dash, right? You can create hospital tips or health tips. Sorry, health. And its parent category is none. It's a parent category itself. So you can add maybe topics on health under it. So this is how you add category for tips. Then for tags, people can actually search for tags. So you can just say health and tag on health and business. So anytime people are looking for tags on your website, you can search your website. Maybe there's a tag, there's a search button. Anything that's under business will come out as long as it has that business tag. All right. So next is media. Your media library is where you update images, videos, PDFs, files that you want people to download. So when we have uploaded media, this is where it is. We can always add a media file. We can add PDFs. So let me see if I can, let me upload the PDF. You click on add media file, upload. Let me see if I have a PDF I can download. Okay, let me see. This is a social media post I did. And you see, it's easily uploaded, right? File size is 1 gig. So you can upload whatever is more than 1 gig at once. You can actually increase this later, but maximum file upload size is 1 gig, right? So this is the image. Now, if I want to get the file URL, maybe I want to insert a URL in my blog without necessarily adding the image. I'll just copy. If you open this in your browser, this is what it shows you. It comes out instantly, right? So you can get the URL of every image on your website. right? So you can always optimize images for web performance. We have a plugin called Image Optimizer, but make sure that your images are not heavy, right? They are not always heavy. So you can actually use design tools to download or edit them. Like for example, sometimes when I download a file and it's like 8 MB, 20 MB, I can use Canva. I'll upload it to Canva and then download it. It drops to kilobytes. Sometimes I use my Affinity tool and it reduces the size. Or you can use online tools to actually reduce the size of your documents or whatever it is you're uploading. If you want people to be able to download documents or view documents, click links, you can upload everything on the media section. All right. You can rename files. So this particular file is titled Merc. So I can type it social media posts. I can actually change the name. You can also edit the image, right? The resolution, you can rotate it as you want and save edits, depending on what you like, right? So there's so much you can actually do here. So see, the name that's changed. Okay, so always optimize the image for web performance. Very, very name your images right so that people will be able to, for example, what do you call it now? For accessibility's sake, if you're doing product design, that's what we call accessibility, that other people who are not normal users should be able to still access your website. For if somebody who is blind is using a reading tool and they get to your image, does your image have an alternate text or alternate name? Like for here, you can say, okay, this text is image of my IG post. So when the computer is reading this, or maybe reading for a blind person, the person knows that the next thing after the text is the image from an IG post, and then they can read the contents of that. Very, very, very important. Right. Next is pages. Now, every website is a combination of pages. Here we have the home, we have sample. This is where you create all your pages from your home, your about, all of that before you start editing. This is where you create all your pages, your home, your about section, your get in touch, all of that. This is where you are going to have to download all, where you're going to create all of them. So let's say we want to create a contact page, right? So we're going to create contact. You can open new tab or whatever. So you create, this is contacts, right? So, and I click on publish and my contact page is published already. Now, if I view the page, there will be nothing there because I have not added anything to the page. It's just going to be empty, right? So I haven't added anything to the page. Now, in this page, I can also edit the characteristics of this page. If I don't want if I don't want if I don't want some things to show on the page, I can also edit that, but we won't be doing that right now. I can also I can actually build the page without using a page builder, right? There are classic editors that we can actually use to build. So Elementor WordPress has its inbuilt classic editor that you can use. So I can say, okay, I'm looking for headers. So this is a header. I don't like any of the headers, but no, I can add it. You see, it has added. If I save and you view, if you go here to view, you'll see that it has added the header, right? If I come here and I say I want a banner to be added, so let me say an about, it has only one item for about, which is weird. Footer, I can add a footer down here. Then I can add a gallery. Yeah, I can add a gallery, but I want my gallery to be, to go up. Yeah, so if I save and I refresh, can you see? So this is how people used to build all those ugly websites because they're not using page builders. It's either they are coding or they're just doing stuff with the classic Elementor WordPress classic editor. I can add media at different parts of my website, right? There are different headers. Yeah, I can add this here, images, that people can come and view, just there. I can add a button somewhere here. Yeah, I can add a button there, and say submit for whatever it is that I want, right? I can add a table here. and it will be showing table counts. I can add a gallery somewhere here, upload. I can add a gallery here. So I'm just going to add this gallery here, create new gallery, and insert gallery. Yeah, it's going to show here. I can also add audio to my page and embed a sound. So is that I can insert the audio from Spotify. Let me see if I can get Spotify audio. Audio. I don't use Spotify, so I'm not a fan of Spotify. Okay, let me just use copy. I don't use Spotify. Let's go back. So let me see if I add this from here, if it will work. No, that's YouTube, so it didn't really work. So, but we can embed a YouTube link. Where's YouTube? Yeah, we can add YouTube somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere here. Yeah, add this there. Yeah, and the YouTube link shows here. People just build their website with this. Now, this is nice. If you don't forget, we have a structure, header, hero. So we can actually delete this. Let's delete this. So we have our header here. And we can look for a container. Hold on. We can look for a section here, like a column. We can add the column here. And let's make it 2 equal columns, right? So yeah, these are 2 columns. Okay, so in this column, this second column, this is if you are building with Classic Editor, yeah? If you are building a page with Classic Editor, I don't advise it, but it is well with whoever is using it. I can take an image and insert, let me see. Yeah, I can insert an image here, media library. This is an image. I can insert a text. So let's look for text. Add a heading here. And add a paragraph under. So let's see if I still have all those copy text here. So I have everything here like this. If I save this, you get, and I refresh, this is what you get. So it's still the same thing. I can just reduce this to, yeah, so I can actually reduce this. Right, so this is going to be my hero page, and I can make this entire column, I can give it color. I can add background color. Background color again. I don't think I've used this thing in years. I've not used it in years, to come. I think this only allows me to be plain, right? Doesn't allow me to do much. That's why I don't like using the Classic Editor to do anything, right? So you can actually do many things with this, but it's just there. There's no interesting part of this website that you build with Classic Editor that would be nice. I don't like it. I don't advise it. I prefer people to use page builders. So if you see here, because I've installed Elementor, it will tell me to edit with Elementor. But since we're not editing with Elementor, let's just go back. So we're going to leave. And you can see all our pages, home page, privacy, you can see all of those pages. Right. So if you want to add a page, you add a page here. If you want to delete, all you need to do is hover around it and trash it. If I trash this contact page, I can come to trash and empty out my trash, but let's empty the trash, even though now the entire page is gone. You can see published, all of that. That's that for pages. Next is comments. For comments, this is whatever thing you have on your blog. If someone drops a comment, let's go to post. Remember we had we have it open here. So let's drop a comment. Say this is an amazing update. My name is Nnamdi. My email address is this. My website is the real asamoah.com. Save my name, email, and website then. Sorry. Please enter a URL. Okay. https:// Okay. So post. What URL do you want me to? Okay. This is supposed to be like this. Post comment. And my comment has been posted. Can you see my comment? This is an amazing update. Now, if you come here and you refresh, you will see my comments. Hold on. Refresh. You see? My comment is here. So when people make comments on your page, you can either choose to approve it. It's pending. Approve it. You know, when we're setting up our settings, when we came to, when was it that we came to? I think it was general or discussion. We said that every comment author must fill name and email. Anyone can post a comment, but a comment will be held for moderation. That's why it's still showing pending. If it was not going to be held for moderation, it won't be showing pending. So I can actually reply and say, thank you, Nnamdi, for your feedback. Approve and reply. Now, if I come here and I refresh, you're going to see my reply. So that's how it works. These blogs is not magic. They can actually reply you. Let me even check if it came to my mail, because I don't even do blogging anymore. So I'm going to check my mail if it came to my mail. I can, since I have, okay, it didn't come to my mail. It did not come to my mail. It just went directly to that particular page. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue with testing out comments. So this is comments. You can see your own comments. You can see pending, approved. You can see spam comments. You can move comments to spam. You can trash comments, right? So that's all about comments. Then let's get to appearance. Appearance is the design of your website, the structure, the beauty of your website. And in appearance, what we're looking towards is themes. We want to be able to customize different themes. Now, what are themes? Themes are they define the visuals, look, and layout of your website. You can find free themes in WordPress or upload custom themes. So this InvadeX is a custom theme, while this is a WordPress theme built by Elementor and it's free, right? So this is also 2024 is also a theme. So if you want to add new theme, you can go here like we did yesterday. This is for those who are building online. For offline people, just add the theme to your HT docs and you'll be fine. So there are many themes, many themes that you can actually use. Many themes. These are for blogs. You can use this for blogs. You can preview this, what it looks like. You can use this for blogs. Yeah, this is what this, God knows I will never use something like this, but this is for blogs. You can use this for blogs. Let's see. I think this is a travel website or portfolio website. Very simple portfolio website, but I don't think I'm going to be using any of this. This is the store. This is a store. Okay, what is their strength? It's just weird. Looks weird. So you can see different. This is what website is this? It's for poem. Words of 1,000 words. I mean, the word, what's 1,000 words? You can, so these are articles, simple websites that you can actually practice and build. So WordPress has like very nice themes that you can install and use. Now, if you install those themes, you want to be able to edit those themes. That's where Customize comes in. For design, when you click on design, you can see the different styles of your website, right? You can see the heading, the colors that were used, all of that, right? You can see all of that is saved in your website. You can preview that. You can see the patterns that are used in your website. But there are no patterns here, so this is just for you to view it. So we're not going to do anything here. So, but for customize, you can change your homepage settings. So when people log onto your website, what do they see first? Most people leave it at latest, but it's not, unless you are running a blog. But if you want people to choose what they see first, you click a static page and then you can select what page you want them to see first. So there's a homepage. I want them to see my homepage first. And for my blog, which is my post page, if I have a blog, so let me add a blog. Let me just add it here and I'll add a blog. It will be created for me. So I'll make this my blog, right? So this is where people are going to see all my posts arranged and all of that. So under customize, some when you have more themes, when you have a team with a larger structure, you will see more stuff here, right? So you can see your headers and footers. You can start designing new headers and footers, but this is because you installed Elementor. And then if you want your website to act differently, for example, on my website, on my The Real SMO website, there are CSS codes that I put and instructions that I put so that my website doesn't break, or maybe my website doesn't bring out different colors when you load them, right? You can add additional CSS or additional code here. But you rarely do this unless like you want to do something serious. Then your site identity, right? If you look up to our website, if you let's go to our homepage. If you go to our home, let's go to lizzy.dravos.co. You're gonna be seeing testing for the boot camp. This is our site title. So let's change it to Elizabeth for life. Right? So if we publish and we refresh, yeah, you see Elizabeth for life is here. This is your site title, right? So, and that's also what appears here. See Elizabeth for life. Can you see? Customize blog Elizabeth for life. And then you can add a tagline, builds difference. Builds difference. Then you can add your logo. If you have a logo, you can add it. Do I have a logo? If you add your logo, you can actually add it there. Maybe you want your so if you look at this YouTube here, okay, let me get a logo first. Let me get something simple. I don't even think I have my logo anymore, Seth. Let me just get something simple. Okay, so let me get this here. Okay. Yeah, so I select crop image. Let me increase it. Okay, it doesn't increase, so I'm just going to pick this O. Let me just pick this O here and I crop it. So it's going to be showing up here. Can you see it up here? YouTube, their own logo is here, is YouTube. Yours is this black stuff here. You can actually make your site logo whatever it is that you want, right? So I click on publish. So when I refresh this here, you're going to see the logo here, Elizabeth for life builds difference. That's everything about customize. So you can add themes. Now, when you want to add your navigation menu, right? You can add it. Your menu is where's the real SMO now? Where's the page that I opened? Yeah. Your menu is these things here. Here like this. Right? Home, about me, book me, blah, blah, blah. Now, you can't create menu if you've not installed a theme. And if you install a theme that does not allow menu, you also cannot see the menu section to create menu. So let's create menu. Let's go to appearance, and we are just going to open it in a new tab, and we're going to create menu. Now, there's no menu at all. No menu has been created. So if we say, okay, how many pages do we have? So what we want to first do is to create a menu. If we click on, let's say we're going to call this menu Liz header, right? So it will ask you where you want to display this menu, header or footer. Sometimes you can leave it so that you can manually use whatever you want to use, and you can just click header. So now if I view all the pages, I want my home and blog to be added to this menu. Hold on. Home, blog, add to menu. And see, I can have this in my menu. And all I need to do is save menu. Now let's go to our home page. Can you see home and blog has been added to our menu? So if I click on blog, it takes me to blog. If I click on home, it takes me back to home. This is your navigation menu. So we will be creating different menus depending on what we want in Elementor as we like. Then your theme file editor, if you install the theme and you want to edit different parts of the theme, from the header to footer, whatever. Maybe you coded the theme yourself. You can always come here and edit it, but only edit when you know exactly what it is that you are doing. Very important. And next we want to talk about is the plugins. This is where we are going to stop. Then tomorrow we'll start talking about Elementor. So now plugins they are tools, they add extra features to your website, right? They make life easy for you. So think of them as apps for your website. They make your website look better and finer. Now, on Elementor is a tool that, let me explain different plugins. Hold on. Let's add plugins. So there are different plugins for different things. You know, on your phone, if you want to delete, if you want to send file from one another, your phone comes with only Bluetooth or what? It doesn't even come with WhatsApp, just comes with Bluetooth. But with Xender, which is an app, you can transfer. If you want to chat, you can use WhatsApp. If you want to call, sort your contacts, you can use Google Contacts, like that. So plugins are like apps on your website. So for example, we're going to be looking at different plugins as we go on in the class. So this particular plugin called Jetpack is to improve your security so that people cannot hack your website, and also for backup. So it's actually quite important that you install plugins like this. Then plugins I like to install. There's a plugin called WordFence. Now, what WordFence does is WordFence stops malware attacks and brute force attacks. So virus attacks cannot happen on your website when you have WordFence. So I install WordFence and I use my license. They have a free license you can use, and people will not be able to log into your website or install malware and all of that. It does a scan. It's always giving you updates. If there's something to update, plugin and all of that, you can use that to log into your website. Now, there are also plugins for store. There's what we call WooCommerce. Now, with WooCommerce is what we use to create shops in our website, right? And WooCommerce also has other plugins that work with it, that integrates with it. So we have WooCommerce. WooCommerce, everything you need to launch an online store in days. You can view your customers. You can see many things in WooCommerce. But like I said, WooCommerce also has plugins that works with it. So this particular plugin is called Customer Email Verification for WooCommerce. If you want customers to verify their email before making a purchase, you install this plugin. You see that you need WooCommerce for it to work. If you come here, it says for you to be able to add coupons to every URL, you need WooCommerce for this. So different, easy. You want people to check out with PayPal, you need this. You can also add things like Paystack has integration. Paystack has a plugin for WooCommerce and for WordPress, right? So if you want people to be able to fill form and install and pay you directly, you install Paystack forms. If you want Paystack payment gateway where you connect your Paystack account, you use this. If you want people to do membership on your website via Paystack, you install the different apps right now. Sometimes when you are building a website, you build a page, but you don't want to scatter that page. You want to duplicate it. Now we have a plugin for duplicating websites. It can duplicate posts, so you don't have to do it again. It can duplicate pages, so you can just install. But you also need to note that while you are installing plugins, check their installation or last update. Your updates, the last update should not be more than 2 months. Plugins like this that were updated 7 months ago are prone to having malwares or what do you call it now, viruses on it. So don't install it on your website. But you see, plugins like this that have 15 hours ago means they're actively working. Also check the amount of installations, right? Lightspeed cache 7+ million to clear the cache of your website. Sometimes your website has temporary files, browser files, and the website is not loading fast. You need to be able to clear your cache. I use it here. You purge all, and your updates will show up. Sometimes you can be editing and you are not seeing what you're editing live. When you open the website, it's still showing something old, or your website has scattered. Don't panic. Just clear your cache so that your browser will load it properly. So there are different. I opened my website this year because I had not used my website since January. I built it in January on New Year Day. and I hadn't opened it since then till about 2 months ago, and I saw 5,000 comments. There was a post I used to, there was a plugin I used to delete comments. You will see different plugins for deleting comments. I can't remember which one it was again. If I see the logo, I will know. I think it's light blue or something, right? If you also want to add e-learning features to your website, Tutor LMS is another one. You can see different plugins that you use, right? But the important plugins we're going to be using Yoast SEO for SEO, search engine optimization. We're going to be using Jetpack for backup, WordFence for security, and Elementor for building for our page builder, right? I'm not going to talk about roles today, users, because we talked about it yesterday, where we said there's admin, there's editor, there's author, there's subscriber, who you should give access to. So you can actually go and watch the video from the last class so you understand users. And then, of course, tools. If you want to import files, import pages, here is where you import stuff from. You import from tools. You can import pages. You can import blogs. You can import WordPress. There are post pages, comments, all of that into a WordPress, new WordPress, right? From an old one. You can also export to another one. You can export templates, custom code, pages, posts, and all of that. You can check your site health. If your site is safe to the result is loading. So it will tell you, okay, this one says your site is good, but there are improvements that you need to check. Always check your site health, right? So you can export personal data and also erase personal data, right? Under settings, we talked about settings. So watch day one, part 2, you see everything we talked about settings, right? From general settings, writing, reading, discussion, media, permalinks, privacy. All right, so that should be all for now. I think I'm going to stop here. Then from tomorrow, on the next class, we're going to be talking about page builders, and we're going to learn everything about Elementor, installation, all of that. So with everything you've learned this night, I've given a new assignment. Everyone should create a hero page. Everybody should create a hero page or everybody should design a landing page and drop your screenshots on the group, and also upload a picture of your screenshots or your exports to the class. So I'm going to upload this video tonight and upload the assignment. My class captain, please put the assignments in the group. That should be all for now. And I'm going to stop recording. Let me stop sharing. And that should be all for now. So I'll see you guys in the next class.